Hello, Libra, and welcome to your November forecast. We did have a little blooper going on with the audio last month, but it was different software. It sounded good this end, but didn't come across once it was uploaded. Too late at that point. But hey, let's dive right in and see what you can now experience this month in November. We have a money month where you're going to be focusing on not just money coming in, your paycheck and all that, but also money going out. Look at your second house over here. We got the sun, we got the new moon. The good news is that new moon. So before I start talking about the sun's transit through here, this new moon can be super, super important for you. Let me tell you why though. Not just because, yes, we always upload our intentions on the new moon, right? But it's not lasting just for this month. You know, whenever we have a new moon in whatever house, whichever area we have here, it is programming you for the next 12 months. Listen how important this is. You know the law of manifestation, right? And attraction. And people say, well, why doesn't that work for me? Well, if you're putting up all sorts of intentions in other areas than where the new moon is, well, you're not going to really be attracting that. For you, Libra, this month, top of your list of intentions, you can have other intentions. They may be slower to manifest, but your intention should be, how do I make my money? How do I spend my money? I want to attract more money. This is your power of the year in November, okay? And let me tell you though, this is no joke. This is a magical key, right? If you think about you want to start upping your income, put that on top of your list of priorities of your intentions and see already within a month how that is going to come to you in one way or the other. Could be a raise, could be a promotion, doesn't have to be. There could be other ways money can come to you. Remember, when you put it out there, the universe doesn't care necessarily how you're going to get it. It will just come to you. It will manifest in many different ways. Okay? Maybe as opportunities and so forth. So, when is this new moon? Right down here, I noted it as November 15th. Okay? So make a mark in your calendar. Put that in the back of your mind, what that power intention of the month should be. It's showing up 23 degrees in Scorpio. And since it's in Scorpio, it's going to take on the coloration of Scorpio, which is anything that is very deep, intense, which is real, which holds value. You know, Scorpio is a no-fluff sign, right? Maybe a secondary intention could be, since the second house also has to do with not just monetary values, but how you see yourself. Your self-esteem, what you know you are worth, right? Your self-worth. You can say, well, I really want to up my self-worth. And that will work for you the next 12 months as well. If you don't want superficial people in your life that just draws from your energy, Scorpio might say, you know, because Scorpio is all about beginnings and endings. Scorpio has the power to purge, cut to the bone. Those things are no longer pertaining to us, our needs. So you could say, really, my self-worth is, I know I am a giving, loving person. You know, being Libra, you're all about the heart. It's Venus, right? And so maybe one of those intentions is, I will still love, give, and support those who deserve my energy, but I'm going to put limitations out as far as those who just lean and take for granted. Now, how many of you, write that in the description, how many of you have felt that, right? This is the month you can fix it by saying, only those who really deserve my love and attention, I will give and support too. But I am drawing a line to all of those who might be a little fluffy and superficial, and see how that works for your self-esteem. You will grow when your self-esteem grows, because then you know what you are deserving of. And that Libra balance, right? You're Libra. You'll see how those scales are going to start evening out to a place of more internal zen, happiness, right? Balance. And that's what we're all striving for. So for you, Libra, what a beautiful month to pay attention to. Now, talking about the moons, I will jump straight to the full moon, which you can see down here, November 30th, 8 degrees up in Gemini, which for you is the 9th house. And of course, full moons is always harvest time. It's what we've worked for in the past moons, intentions, and so forth. That's still manifesting for you. This full moon will bring in whatever it is you've intended back in the day about traveling, long distance travel, or wanting to study or take on a course or whatnot. You can see that that opportunity this month may come to you in any way, shape, or form, or that there might be somebody here of a foreign nature, continent, country, whatnot, somebody that could enter into your life that can really behoove you and be like a teacher, because it's also in that sign of Sagittarius. It's a Sagittarius house, but with Gemini on that house, which is all about communication. So you can have long distance communications in far away places, which is that 9th house, right? So see how that's going to work for you. I think that is going to be a little bit exciting, a little bit fun. There might be some extra travel coming in. Good for you, especially after this phase of lockdown that we've had. But the sun through, going back to that now, the sun going through the sign of Scorpio is allowing you to get in touch with that Scorpion part of yourself. We all have all 12 signs in our matrix, right? Different facets. You happen to be born Libra, but the sun being in Scorpio is allowing that to be picked up in your consciousness. You're going to be deeper, more passionate. Truth will be very important to you this month. Lo and behold, anybody that crosses you, you will call them out on it. Scorpio doesn't put up with things, right? So besides spending a lot of money, having fun this money, you will also be able to get some more money in your wallet. We have Mercury, which has been retrograde, right, and will be in. I wrote it down here for you to see. November 4th, it's going to pick up and go direct again. So if you're watching this video on the October end, then do know that it is still retrograde for you. Be careful as far as signing contracts or purchasing anything of high value, because as we have these retrogrades, you know how things can go a little faulty. Then we have to bring them in for return and so forth. And of course, Mercury is also all about communication. And since it's showing up here in your first house, Libra, that means that you will have a need this month to communicate a lot about who you are, what you are, and so forth. And you will see a lot of attention coming to you in this area, because that's what the first house is all about, is that I am, right? So your personality, you might get a little challenges here and there because of the retrogrades. Make sure that you verify with those people you're talking and having important conversations with that they're hearing you correctly, because misunderstandings take place under retrograde, right? So that being said, you know, it's all doing its thing. It's a part of it. It's a part of our journeys to have these retrogrades, but they're not all bad, right? What I do love is that your ruler, Venus, over here, first house, is, of course, in the first house of you feeling that love, radiating that love. First house is where your ascendance is. That's the energy that you're going to be giving out to the world, and the energy you're going to be receiving from the world. This is why I always mention, listen to your moon reading and your rising sign reading, not just this, which is your sun sign, right? But if you know where your moon and rising sign is, listen to those forecasts, right? For example, right here, Venus, the love going out, the love coming in. This is why a rising sign is so important. And the moon reading is all about how you're going to emotionally be feeling in the month of November. All these planets, their degrees will all be the same, but they're going to be spread out differently in that chart, right? So that you can see how you're going to be reacting internally. In the rising sign reading, all the planets are the same, but they're spread out differently, and you will see what type of energy you're going to be receiving from the world, who's reaching out to you, coming to you, and how you're going to be responding back out. So all 3 readings are super important. While you're at it, you might want to listen to your partner, your significant other's chart, just to see where this new moon is going to be picking up for them, because it's a deep new moon. It's in Scorpio. It's got a lot of power. It's kind of ruled behind it there with that Plutonian energy that can create transformation that we desire, right? More retrogrades. That is, Mars been working there retrograde for quite a while now. The good news here, Libra, this month is that it is going direct on this, November 14th in your area of love and relationships. Now, those relationships that are different from the 5th house relationships is all about long-term. That could be your spouse, your significant other, anybody that you work with closely one-on-one might have been a little challenged over these last few months with Mars's retrograde. You will feel that this energy is going to start picking up, getting back on track after the 14th, and I think that's a good thing for you because Mars in Aries is normally always very antsy. It wants to get on with things, right? It's a go-getter. And so if you're feeling that your relationships have been like, oh, like that, well, then you have this to look forward to because your spark and your partner's spark, remember, it's going direct for them as well. That will be picking up so you can feel that interaction. When it comes to romance, will be that much more hotter because it's in the sign of Aries, fire, right? We like that fire. And hopefully you've used this retrograde. You will have it until the 14th to your highest best, to the highest good of your partner as well. You still have a little time until the 14th to talk out and weed out those things that no longer feel good to you. You know, your partner may not have it in his or her 7th house. You do, right? You do. Point that way. You do. You're the one that has been feeling the issues in your relationship. So you're the one that might not have been too happy with a few things. It's up to you to drive that point home so that once it's out of here, you'll be happy for a long, long time to come. And remember that Mars normally only has 6 weeks to perfect each and every house it passes, each and every life circumstance, which are the houses. Now, for us this time around, Mars has been in this area for 6 months. That's a long time. So I think the universe is on your case, knowing that a lot of you, Libra, has had issues in your relationships that might have been a little difficult to bring up because don't want to create issues, right? And so it's been giving you this extended time to perfect this area because it's not coming back for another 2 years to this placement so that you can fix and repair what needs to be done, right? So love, love, love. This retrograde, it's on your side. It's your friend, even though it might have been a little challenging. We don't grow without challenges, right? So we got to embrace that. So let's talk about our little stellium. You know, we talk about that every month. It's down here, 4th house, home, family, foundation, and so forth. So a lot of you, Libra, have been feeling the need for a little bit more space at home. That's Jupiter. Think about the size of Jupiter. It is wanting more space. So some of you have been wanting to maybe move or expand your house, your living situations. But it's also the foundation of family. So you might have felt that 2020 has been a lot centered around family and changes for them. Maybe they have been moving or been wanting to move or have been a part of, like, look at all these fires going on there, California, up the whole West Coast. Even here in Arizona, we could look straight at the sun without hurting our eyes because of the smoke coming in from the West Coast. So yes, there is a lot of people wanting to move, right? And maybe you're one of them, where Pluto is saying enough of this. Saturn's saying, I got to take responsibility now and want to create these changes, whatever the deal is. But not everybody lives on the West Coast. So we can't say that that is the same for everyone. But there might be family members out there. You might live, somewhere safe and whatnot. You could be living out of country and things are going on in your country. But the whole message here is Saturn has been working here for a couple of years to ask you, are you happy where you're at? What do you want to change up? Saturn is all about mastery. So you're kind of taking this newfound feeling of control in your foundation of life. Saturn is your friend, okay? Because it's that power. And then Pluto coming in, that is ending certain things so new things can come up. We can never have new chapters in our own book of life without one chapter closing. So there's things closing, but it is for the good because you're moving forward. You are expanding. This Jupiter is expanding. Still going to be with us for a little while, and then it will move on to other realms, and you'll see how next year both Saturn and Jupiter moving into your 5th house of creativity and children. More on that down the road. We'll see how that is going to be working for you. So Uranus, we do speak of Uranus, and of course it's moving really, really slow, so it's going to be hanging there for several years more, so we don't spend too much time on speaking of it. However, though, this Uranus is going to go direct. It's been retrograde for several months in the area of savings, okay? It's not necessarily income like the 2nd house. It's more like your 401k. It could be stocks, bonds, that kind of thing. Commissions, royalties, or monies that you have with your partner, looking into how can I clear this up? How can I increase my investments and savings? Maybe it's time, especially with all of things going on here in your 4th house, right? Maybe it is time to look at the benefits of mortgages coming down, especially because Uranus is there wanting to free up certain things. So I can get that a lot of you Libras have probably been wanting to refinance your home. You still have time to do it. And in that case, if you're finding that the interest rate is good for you, why not, right? Just don't do it. Well, Mercury is retrograde. So I would say wait at least till we're out of it after the 4th of November. Give it maybe another week, 10 days. You'll be pretty good there. But yeah, this can behoove you because it is the 2nd, 8th house axis that you're working on this month. That 8th house really wants to see you save money. There could be times under this passage of Uranus where you will have big savings coming in. There could be other times where, oops, there could be losses. Whenever we have good aspects up to Uranus up here, that's when we win. But then, of course, there's times throughout the year where we'll have squares and oppositions from the faster moving planets, and oops, that's when we can lose. This is what I love about astrology, is the ability to look ahead long term, where you can place your money, where you could benefit the most, when there's a good time to do this or that, because, our will might be that we want to do something here and now, but it's not always the best time to move and forge ahead. So insights into your personal chart is always something that I do recommend. Then, of course, we got Neptune still cruising in your area of health. So a lot of you have been looking at this. Now, these outer planets are moving direct again, which is bringing up more flow. This summer we've had a lot of retrogrades, so it's been slowed down. And so we can say it's the virus, right? Well, Neptune rules viruses too. But it's not just Neptune's fault that the virus is here. All of these planets have been retrograde long term, 4 or 5, 6 months. And therefore, we've been experiencing this lockdown and social distancing and all this and that. So that slowness that we've had is pretty much also due to the retrogrades, right? If we didn't have retrogrades, would we still have the same kind of slowness taking place? Maybe, maybe not, right? But at least now things are picking up. We still have Uranus, which will go direct on November 29th. Love, love that. Then it will be direct. Neptune is direct. Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto also direct. So, hello. life is going to start picking up again, little by little. Just loving that. Now, Pluto, we did speak of, 4th house, transformation, family, you know, who you are on the inside, deep down in your desires, slowly over these years. It moves very slowly. So it's more like functioning as a backdrop in your chart, in your life. So you won't see much changes. You will see changes, though, like now, with Jupiter and Saturn touching upon it with a conjunction. So that's kind of like fusing the energies into this Pluto, setting you up to new realms. And of course, that is something that you're going to see beneficially. So once they're past Pluto and start moving around your chart again, you will start seeing how that Jupiter really did infuse Pluto with transformation and expansion, right? So even though it could have been a little hard and challenging while it was there, but you know what? Without fire under our butt, will we get off the pot? That's the thing. These planets helped us get off the pot. And so for you, that's where you're going to start seeing the long-term benefits, Libra. So listen, thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support, your love, your comments. I read them all. All right. Hit that notification bell so that you are notified for the next uploads coming in. So in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy. See you next month.